Yes, hi. My name is David Adams. I'm working on my MAT Masters at USC. And today I'm going to demonstrate a presentation on the stock market, which with 24 plus years of working in the industry, I'm going to explain some key points to my daughter Fallon, who's at the Art Institute in Santa Monica. Is it correct? All right, just give her some fine points here. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the stock market. One of the companies that I've picked out, the company is called Virtus Total Return Fund, and their stock symbol just happens to be my initials, David C. Adams, DCA. So today I'm going to go through that on points on how you can make money in the market, whether it's buying or selling. I'm going to keep it very simple here, and then I'm going to go into that's a long transaction when you are buying first, hoping that it goes up, and then selling. That's a long position. Then I'm going to do the reverse, which is shorting the stock, which many of you probably heard about recently in the newspapers, because that's done primarily by hedge funds. But we're going to show how you can short a stock where you sell it first, betting that it goes down as opposed to going up. And if it goes down, you do a sell first and then lock in the net spread by doing a buy on that same transaction. So first we're going to start with on DCA. As far as the stock is, you're going to make a long transaction, which Fallon, what we're going to do here is you're familiar with at least shares. You know that stocks trade in shares. It's a position or equity, as we call it, in the company. And in order to demonstrate this first transaction, what you would do is, let's say you were looking to make money on DCA, and so we want to buy 1,000 shares to start. Now, on a long transaction, this is DCA on the chart, the fund. It shows that presently it has a bid side, which is the sell side, which is $3.41 per share. On the buy side or ask side, is when you want to go in and actually purchase the stock. That's priced at $3.48 per share, at least on the close of the market on 1/8/2012. So if we wanted to take, for example, 1,000 shares and buy and go long, so 1,000 shares at times $3.48 per share. If you want to do that transaction, you're going to come up with, okay, that's a total of 30. Let's see if I can get this times 3. I got the decimal right that time. Okay, right. Okay, so we're going to come up with, for example, 3480 is the amount of money that you have to put up. Okay, so $3,480 to buy long position on $3.48 per share. Now, in order for you to make money, the stock would have to go up, correct? Okay, so because you want to buy first and sell it. So whether that takes a day, or with some people that are day traders, or if you want to buy it and hold on for long term, what are you looking to do?
Looking to hold on for long term.
Okay, make money. Okay, so we say it's maybe 3 months later now. Stock is now trading. You see that you can sell it on the bid side, okay, which is where you execute your trades to sell. So say the stock is now trading at $6 per share. Okay, so when we go to sell that stock, you enter a trade for 1,000 shares at $6. You now have generated $6,000 in total principal in that transaction, and that means the whole pie. So when you sold it, when you bought it, it was $3.48. You sold it, it was at $6. So then what you're going to take is, in order to generate your profits, equals, you would have made $24.20 over that span of time. Okay, so that's the principle on either buying stock and going long the position with the hope of being able to sell it at a higher price. Okay, so in that instant, you bought it at 1,000 shares at $3.48. You sold it at $6 a few months later, and you netted $24.20. Okay, any questions about that? And how many? Now that's a long position when you're long the stock. Now we're going to do the exact opposite. This is called shorting. Shorting is where you don't own the stock. Okay, so what you're doing is there's various things you do, like setting up a margin account, whatnot. You put up money in advance. Well, that's for a subsequent class later. But what you're going to do here is you're going to sell the transaction of selling and buying. So instead of buying and selling, which is the normal way of doing things, you're going to sell it first, but it's with the hope, expectations that the stock doesn't go up but down, so you can still capture what's called the spread between the purchase and buying and selling the stock. So it's a reverse. So where you stock, say the stock is selling at $6 a share, okay, and you want to sell it short. So that transaction, if you're selling the same DCA stock, it's trading at $6 per share. You want to sell 1,000 shares, say at $6 per share. Okay, you got that?
Yes.
So now, what we're doing is that transaction costs us $6,000. Okay, and we're hoping the stock goes down because we don't own the stock. We're just borrowing the shares. So it's sort of like, before I go in the final act of this transaction, it's sort of like if you go to your neighbor and you borrow a loaf of bread, and it turns out that you may have borrowed that loaf of bread, he may have purchased that loaf of bread for $3. Okay, but what you know is you tell me you're going to return the loaf of bread that you borrowed within, maybe your next payday. So in say 30 days you're going to buy a loaf of bread. He may have paid $3 for that, but you found that you can buy that same loaf of bread that he purchased it for $3, and you can go and buy that, say, at the 99-cent store for $1 per share. So what happened is you saved yourself $2 a share for the identical loaf of bread. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be selling it short. You borrowed it, which is what you do when you short. You're borrowing the shares from some other client. He may have paid, basically the transaction may have cost $6,000, but when all of a sudden there's some bad news on the company, which is one of the things that stocks go move up or down on based on financials, and maybe a company has got in trouble, they did something wrong, or they didn't report something completely, but for some reason you borrowed